After cutting the roof off last time, we also removed the motor. My plan was to use a low mileage spare that I bought off M3 forums. Before we put the new motor in, there's some basic maintenance that we do to all race motors. Rod bearings are a common issue on the S54 that can easily cost you a motor. I took off the oil pump that was being held on by a few Allen bolts. The oil return lines are also removed with a few 10mm bolts. The motor has what is called fractured connecting rods. This means that the rods are forged as a single piece and then split. As a result, the mating edges are jagged and fit together only in one direction. This makes things easy so you can't put it together backwards. Removing the two bolts allow you to take off the cap. From here you can take out and replace this bearing. To get the old bearing out, just push it to the side and it'll rotate out easily. You'll notice a groove on one side of the bearings. This shows you which direction they snap into place. Much like the rods, there's only one way these go back together, so you can't put it together backwards. The rod bearings we are using are treated to have a smoother surface for better oil retention. Once both sides are replaced, slather some assembly lube on the bearings and the crank. Be careful not to scratch the crank and put the rod back in place. We're using ARP connecting bolts to replace the OEM bolts because they're much stronger and can handle the stress of high combustion engines. When we put the ARP hardware in, we slather some of the fastener assembly lube on it. Once you've replaced all of your bearings, you can torque the ARP hardware according to the instructions. Here are some of the original bearings from my motor. You can see the wear on some of them. A few look a little bit more worn than others. You can do an oil analysis on your motor to gauge the overall health of your bearings, but replacing them with even just OEM ones are going to be a better solution. We took off the vanos in preparation to replace the cams. We're using the Schrick 288-280 cams. These cams should give us pretty good power gains in the middle through top end. Paired with an Epic Motorsports tune, we'll hopefully see around 350 to the wheel. Now that we're done, it's time for the chassis to go to paint before we put the motor back in the car. Thanks for watching, guys, and stay tuned for more.